Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the probably the final part of the Ultimate Jax guide, depending on updates and that kind of stuff. This is the section on his general strategies and rushdown pressure. I do want to say that if you check out the written guide over at testyourmight.com, there is more information after this about specific matchups and things like that, which I'm actually not going to make a video about. Just because it's so much information and it's going to change constantly as the game is updated, so it's just not worth doing a video on because I have to constantly make new videos, new updated versions. But do check that out. It's got some great information. I fight like Sub-Zero, Melina, Kung Lao, Kung Jin, the best optimal punishes for their moves, things like that. How to break armor, break their armor specifically. Just some great stuff. Alright, so anyway, this section, since he's already covered his combos, his normals, his specials, all that good stuff, this is kind of how to handle the neutral game, which I'll explain that in a second, and just kind of how to use all that stuff in combination to make it work and get you wins. Alright, so the neutral game is this area right now where I'm not being comboed, she's not being comboed, I'm not being pressured, she's not being pressured. We're both trying to find an opening while keeping ourselves safe. All right, the situation is neutral. So that's primarily what this guide is going to focus on, is the neutral game and pressure and Oki and things like that, which I'll explain what Oki is here in a minute as well. I'm sure most of you know. All right, so I do love the pumped up version because he's so versatile. He's got great pressure, you know, great range on all of his stuff. He can zone, he can do all kinds of stuff. 50-50s on wake up, all that good stuff. So from full screen, he actually has some really great zoning options and actually full screen mix-ups. And he's not Quan Chi or anything, but he can mix you up pretty well. Take a good chunk of your health before you're ever able to get on him. Okay. So let's see, I will note real quick that these options, his full screen options, are heavily matchup dependent. You cannot do this stuff against Melina, Jackie, basically any character with a really quick teleport or really good zoning. It can be really hard to do this stuff on. Against those characters, you're just going to need to get in and use your up close game, which luckily he's got a great up close game. But this stuff is really used against characters like Johnny Cage, Sub-Zero, just some of the stronger characters. Kung Jin, it's a nightmare for Kung Jin to deal with. All right, so just learn your matchups, learn when you can get away with this stuff. All right, so full screen. Jax's zoning is pretty standard. You've got your energy wave, which is hard to dodge. You know, you can crouch it, but you can't really do much, and if you do get hit by one or even block one, you kind of have to respect the next one, just because he is +7. All right, he's got his full screen ground pound that you constantly have to watch out for. And where this is dangerous is that if you jump and eat an energy wave, like we already covered in his section on specials, then he gets a free off the ground setup and another energy wave. Okay, so that's 20% damage right there, so from a wrong read. If you don't jump, then you eat the 10% damage. All right. So you constantly have to be watching out for those two. Where it gets really tricky is that every time Jax jumps, he's got a 3-way mix-up, okay? That's because of this move right here. So what happens is if I jump, your opponent has to make a read. If they don't jump, and I do that, then they get hit. If they do jump, and I empty jump into an energy wave, then they get out of the air, and then I get my OTG setup for 20%, all right? So they're going to be watching out for that purple, and if you do it low enough, it's very hard to see. Okay, they got purple. When they see that purple, they think, okay, I'll jump, but they still have to watch out for if you empty jump into that. Finally, once they catch on to that, if they see you empty jump, they think, okay, there's an energy wave coming, I'm going to crouch. That's when you can empty jump into ground pound. So you've got regular zoning, and you've got jump into that, jump into that, and jump into that. It's very difficult. I mean, here in practice mode, you're probably thinking, like, anyone can avoid that. Just do that in an actual match. You can actually beat a lot of players with just that. It's kind of insane. It's very difficult to read. All right, and it does take, you know, don't just constantly do it. Kind of keep an eye on your opponent and see how they're reacting. You need to be reactive as well. It's about making good reads. It's not just free mix-ups. You got to be smart about it. Okay. And so then, like, between those, even when your opponent is trying to get in, like, you control the space so well with dash punch, which is 10 frames. So I mean, literally, you're back here trying to stay away, and then in 10 frames, you're punching them in the face. You got your that kind of mediocre move. Just great ways. You're forward to keep people out. All right, so those are Jax's pumped up zoning options, and that's, I mean, he's a great zoner. He's not as brain dead as a few characters, and he's not as mix up heavy as like Quan Chi, but he's still great. So eventually most people are going to get in, and against some matchups you can't really do that stuff, so you're going to have to rely on his pressure, but luckily Jax has amazing pressure options. Okay. So his most important pressure tools arguably are his forward 2 and his forward 2-1, and also his 1-1, which I do absolutely love. So forward 2 is a great anti-air from, you know, about this range. Like if she tried to jump in from there, I could forward 2 on reaction and get my combo that we covered in his anti-air combo section. Let's see. It can also help you avoid crossovers. Like if she is trying to jump over me, I could just do a forward 2 to move under her and whatever she's doing would whiff, which is great. It's neutral on block and plus 12 on hit. Yep. All right. So just throwing that out naked is great. Just a forward 2, you know, if it hits, kind of like that comes out on the 15th frame. All right. So that hits the, let's see. All right. Well, that's hitting now. If I'm back here, let's see. All right. So that comes out on the 6th frame, and the second hit comes out on the 15th frame. Well, that's plus 12, so she only has 3 frames to deal with that, or else that leaves me plus 2 or plus 27, depending on if it's blocked or hit. All right, so that's just forward 2. We'll cover all that stuff here in a sec. Next is forward 2-1, which is plus 1 on block and plus 17 on hit. All right, so just by mixing them up between these two, they can never be sure when to press a button, unless you get predictable, and they can try to use armor just to be careful, you know, just to be safe. All right, and then finally, you can cancel that forward 2 into any special, or you can go into just his forward 2-1-2. The only problem with those are that is minus 5 on hit, or I'm sorry, on block. On hit, it's really plus. It actually gives you a free OTG setup or run up pressure. Okay. But if they block it, they know that's the last hit you can do, so you're gonna get pressured. And you gotta be careful. You can usually do, you can backdash. Always, all right. So usually you can backdash pokes, but if they use like Cassie Cage and Devore and a few characters have advancing pokes that might still catch you, Kung Jin. And then there's also, if they use a special reversal, then a lot of those will catch you. Like if I set her to what is it, forces charge, and I do 1-2-1 backdash. Oh man. Oh, that's pretty cool. I thought that would hit me, but apparently that move just sucks that bad. Wow. See, you know, backdashes have invincibility, which is why that works. So that's pretty cool, actually. I did not I did not know that would happen. Okay, but so just forward 2. Oh, sorry. Let me put that back. Just using naked forward 2. Set her back to block. Forward 2, forward 2-1, and forward 2-1-2. Just using a combination of those is great, and then also forward 2-1 energy wave, which we'll cover in a second, is amazing. All right, and so because of those awesome frames, your goal really isn't damage with these. Like, you don't want to be doing like forward 2-1 gotcha grab, all right? Because even if it hits, you're dealing 22% damage, but you kind of lose a lot of your pressure from that. And if it's blocked, it leaves you -9 as opposed to -5 or +7 from there. And look, what is that? That's 2%, and then so that's basically 4% chip damage. Bam, bam, bam. You know, so just as you're doing this stuff, not only are you moving your opponent to the corner, but you're dealing chip and getting all that. So that's why I don't really recommend canceling this into gotcha grab. Energy wave is okay as long as you're not predictable, but really like just stopping it and going into 1-1 is usually your best option. All right. Okay, so anyway, now let's break down what your options are. So an F2 on block, again, this is, you want to train your opponent. So like early on in the match, you want to let them know that you can do the full 2-1-2. All right, you want to let them know you can do 1-1-1. You want to let them know the extent that your strings can go, so that way they're expecting that when you cut your string off early. So when I do a 1-1, they're expecting that 1-1-1 and they keep blocking. I do 1-1 and throw them. That's very difficult to react to, even offline. Okay. So with that said, once you get your opponent to know, especially like forward, it's really easy to train them with forward 2-1 because it is +1 on block, allowing you all sorts of great stuff. So once you get them trained, that's when you can start doing his naked forward 2s. All right, so that's neutral. So when that hits, it's really easy to get a throw. Okay, it's incredibly difficult to react to. Throw. 12% damage, soft knockdown, but sends them full screen. Guess how many throws it takes to send them from one corner to the other? It is 3 throws. If I throw, now we're basically to the point. Let's see, I might even be able to get a combo. Oh, she's blocking. That's almost combo range. I was actually slightly, need to push her a little bit further, but basically 3 throws is enough to get from one corner to the next, which is crazy. Like Jax's throw is really good. Just, all right, so these are all his forward 2 options on block. Forward 2, throw. Forward 2, down 1, energy wave. The reason that's great is because that down 1 is a mid that's only 7 frames, which means that if they don't have a move that's 7 frames or faster, they can't do anything except armor out, and even then they have to make sure to put it in fast enough before your 1 connects. So if you do like that and that, it's very good. And the reason that's so good is because that energy wave is +7 on block, which means now, you know, now you can do whatever you want. Like if you do a forward 2, they only have 6 frames to react, and if they don't have a 6 frame poke, they either have to armor or eat your continued pressure. Let's see. You do have to be careful with that because they can neutral crouch it, but usually if you cancel into it from the down 1, they're not neutral blocking anyway. So just, you know, watch your opponent, see how often they neutral crouch that 1, and then you can start doing like down 1, overhead smash and things like that. Next is jump over 1. Now this one's great. You do have to be careful. Like if she was to walk backwards, it could be difficult for me to time the jump 1. But basically every time you hit with the jump 1, whether it's blocked or they get hit with it, it's a mix-up. She can't interrupt that. So you got overhead, low. So that's why that's really good. Next is 1-1, which is my favorite string. Like the forward 2-1 is great, but it loses out so much to low pokes. But that 1-1, it's a 6 frame startup. Second hit is mid on the 15th frame, leaves you +2 or +27. All right. So anytime you do that, just a quick 1-1 is great. All right, and you know, if they do start poking after that 1-1, like if you go for a throw and they're poking you out of it, then you can cancel that 1-1 into like energy wave or all 3 hits of the 1-1-1 or 1-1 gotcha grab, you know, kind of whatever you want to do. So forward 2 leads into 1-1, really great. And that's kind of your goal. I'm sorry, I should have said this earlier. Your goal with all of Jax's mix-ups is really to land that 1-1, because what that does is, you know, if they block it, then whatever, you get a free throw, you get free whatever you want because you're +2. A lot of times you can actually even kind of keep it going like that, and they have to neutral crouch eventually. Then they have 4 frames to react. So it's very difficult to react to. All right, so your goal is kind of get in and hit them with that 1-1, and eventually when it does hit, that leaves you at that plus 27, which is where you get your mix-ups from. You know, you get 21 damage, your 17 damage, whatever. It's, you know, your goal is to kind of get them in the corner, but mid-screen your goal is to hit with that 1-1. You can also do your 1-2-3. Go back to blocking because this is all forward 2 on block. All right, so if they block that forward 2, you've got, yeah, be careful. If you do it too early like I am right now, you're gonna get that 2-3, which you don't really want. All right, so if they block that, you basically get a free 1-2-3, and you want to be using that 1-2-3 string a lot. Just make sure that you're canceling it into energy wave. It's like forward 2, 1-2-3, energy wave, forward 2, 1. You know, you can see how this stuff all kind of loops together to make really long, difficult to react to block strings. All right. So next is his forward 2 on hit. Now this is where things get even better. So if this hits, you see how she kind of staggers backwards? That can actually put her out of range of some of your stuff if you wait too long. As you can see right there, it's a little inconsistent because I did it from the same distance and it hit one time and didn't hit another. But basically if you hit with that, then you can keep your pressure going. You can do all of the options that we already covered for a block one. In fact, they work even better because now instead of plus, instead of neutral, you're plus 12. So like they have to respect your 1-1. There's literally no way to around it. They can't block it with armor. They can't do anything. So if you hit with that, you basically get free whatever you want. All right. So another forward 2 or another forward 2-1 works great. If you step forward, you can throw. You do need to step forward even if you think it'll hit, because since they're plus 12, if you throw too early, it'll whiff since they're still in that state. So just take a slight step forward, throw. Works really great. Is it back 2? Oh my God. So you can get a back 2, you can get your back 3-4 into whatever special you want. You know, again, I recommend doing the overhead dash punch. Keep the pressure going. You can also get a no, sorry, let me reset my controller here. All right, you get a jump 1, which if you look at that, it's kind of weird because the way his jump 1 goes straight down. You can actually connect that from the same side. A little weird. That is 5% damage, so that's 10% altogether. And then from a jump 1 is again you get your mix-up. Next, and this one I don't really recommend this one too much because it kind of ends your pressure, but if you do hit with that, you can jump back into one of your mix-ups. It's an option, you know, it just kind of depends. If you're against like a heavy rushdown character like Johnny Cage, it can be okay, but if you're against someone like Quan Chi or you know, someone who's really squirrely and keep away, it might be better to stay on them and keep your pressure going and keep working them towards the corner. But just know that, you know, jump back is an option, especially if you're just trying to like close out the match, but I don't know, I think it has better options. Next is down 4 dash punch or down 4 energy wave. You can also do down 4, we already covered. A little hard to do. There we go. Down 4 and the overhead dash punch does work against a lot of players just because that down 4 makes them block low. So you see it doesn't combo, but it does. Oh my God, I can't even do it right now. There we go. It can be, it can make your opponent kind of knee-jerk block low and then the overhead hit. punch will hit. So I don't know, mid screen it's probably the risk versus reward probably isn't there, but in the corner that can get you some decent damage, so it could be worth it. Next, down 4 energy wave, which is much easier to do. Mid screen is definitely a better option. Alright, and so you can kind of see how all this stuff chains together. Next is 1-1, so if you hit with that, see how that 1 will whiff? If you just take a slight step forward, it'll still hit. And because it's only 6 frames, there you go. You just basically hold forward. See how his foot kind of stutters towards him? He doesn't actually take a step. Watch his front foot. So all I'm doing is holding toward. He's not even really moving, but that 1 is connecting. So that's all you have to do. Same with his 1, 2, 3. Oh, let's see. So it's similar with the 1-1 where you have to hold forward, but just for, you know, he just has to kind of slide his foot slightly towards them, and you're good. And you know, if it does hit, you get your 23% damage if you're just going through pure damage. All right. So next is his forward 2-1. Oops. So if you look, when this hits, it leaves him about that far away. When this hits, it leaves him basically the exact same distance, but now you're +1, which means that everything that works from a blocked forward 2 will also work from a blocked forward 2-1, only better because now you are +1 on block. That's really all there is to that. So just, you know, mix up with 1 there, blah blah blah. Just kind of, you know, keep them guessing. That's what this is all about. So forward 2 on a hit is a little different. If I hit with that, she does stagger back a bit. We're this far away. If I hit with this, she staggers just a little bit further, so it can be harder to connect some things. Okay, the only difference is, well, actually, let's see. That. Yeah, so it's slightly further, but not a huge difference. The only big difference is that you're +17 on hit instead of +12. So now all of those other options will still work. In fact, if you do it early enough, even though she does eventually stagger back too far, you can still do your stuff early. You can actually, after you hit with that, a naked ground pound does work pretty well. It's risky just because you're only going to deal 10% if it does work, and if it doesn't, you're going to get full combo punished. But just know that that is a mix up at your option. Like if, you know, if I think I can close out the round, then go for it. It'll still, you know, I don't know. It's okay. The other difference is that 1-1, you no longer have to hold forward because you recover so much earlier, even though she goes back further. That'll still connect, and that'll still connect without holding forward. You can still hold forward. It doesn't hurt anything because Jax doesn't have a forward 1 move or a forward 1-2 move, so they'll do the exact same thing. So it doesn't hurt to hold forward. You just don't have to. Next is that forward 2-1-2. So if that hits, you can go in and do whatever you want. You can also do your off the ground there for 25% total. Just realize that because it's such advantage, your first hit will whiff unless you, I mean, you have to delay it quite a bit. Look at that. So forward 2-1-2 is great. Just be careful not to go too fast or you will whiff your stuff. Now if it is blocked, if they do block the forward 2-1-2, remember that you can backdash most of the time. And as we have already seen, like that invincibility can make it really difficult to do anything. In between, like forward 2-1 backdash is really great. I should have covered that as well because a lot of people will start counter poking after that. So if you do that and then backdash, a lot of times you can whiff punish. So forward 2-1 backdash is very difficult to deal with. Okay, and same with forward 2-1-2 backdash. Your other option is just to block. If your opponent has a really advancing normal like Cassie Cage or Jax's forward 2, which might be able to catch you. Let's see, I think I'm slightly out of range of his forward 2, but some characters do have normals that can reach that far and special moves. So your best bet probably in those cases is just to block whatever hit level their advancing move would hit, so next is Energy Wave. In this, I'm going to cover forward 2-1 Energy Wave, but this really applies to any normal into Energy Wave because it kind of pushes them back the same distance. So you are mid-screen, you're +7, but because it knocks them back so far, it can be kind of difficult to capitalize on. Luckily, Jax's down 4 does the trick. Alright, so the down 4 is 9 frames, you're +7, so that's only 2 frames to react. Oh, let me reset my controller again. Alright, Alright, so you're still within range of his back 2. You're still within range of his back 3, so you do have your mix-ups, but just remember that like that back 2 is an 18 frame move, so they have 11 frames to figure it out. So what you want to do is train your opponent first with quicker mix-ups like his down 4. Alright, but then from there you're not really within range, so you can't hold that down. Hold down your back 2. If your opponent doesn't have a 6 frame move, then anytime you hit with an Energy Wave, you can keep going with your forward 2-1 pressure. Just be careful because they can, poke out of it if they do have a 6 frame move and do it just right. They can also armor out. And your other option, so this one is a little tricky, it's kind of a mind game, but once your opponent realizes that that is +7 on block, then they know to expect more pressure. You're +7, you're gonna keep going, right? And so if they have armor, a lot of times they will armor through. They're gonna expect your pressure and they're gonna armor through and it'll work, it'll hit you. So what you can do is forward 2-1 Energy Wave and then block. End your pressure and block. Worst case scenario is that you end your pressure and you're just kind of in a neutral situation with your opponent again, which is great for Jax. He has a great neutral game, so it doesn't really hurt you at all. Best case scenario is they do try to armor reversal, it gets blocked, they waste a meter, and you get a full combo punish. So forward 2-1 Energy Wave, just block, is great. The great thing about it is it works against smart opponents. Against average or scrubby opponents, it won't really get you anything, but against a smart opponent, they're actually too smart for their own good in this case and can get punished for it. So when Energy Wave hits, it's kind of a mixed blessing because it does push them back so far and you're only +10, so it can be kind of hard to capitalize on that. Let's see. So you can continue your forward 2-1 pressure. And they only have 3 frames to react to it if you do it, at the first available frame. It can be armored, again, you can do like that and then block if you really want. Really not a whole lot of downside to that. You can also do, if that hits, that second hit will connect, all right? And that comes out on the 15th frame, so they have 5 frames to react to that, and if it does hit, then you're at +27, and you get your free mix up, even if it whiffs, or not whiffs, if it's blocked, you're at +2. Let's see. There you go. All right, and so I believe that covers all of his pressure options, especially based off of like 4-2-1 and Energy Wave. Again, that down 4 Energy Wave is just great. Use that a whole lot. And so again, what you're really trying to do with all of this is fish for a connected 1-2 or a combo into that for just some raw damage. And you're trying to push your opponent into the corner the whole time. You know, so if you ever do connect a 1-1, go for your mix-up. And that kind of, all this stuff makes it very easy to throw your 1-1 out there. And just pressure your opponent and move them towards the corner. And throws are really important to Jax's game. All this stuff makes it very difficult to avoid his throws. So, I mean, you can pretty much constantly throw your opponent. You can easily take away 50% of their health with nothing but throws and block string pressure. Alright, let's see. So yeah, once again, Jax does very little overall mid-screen damage. You know, his 23% is about as much as you can hope for, unless you anti-air, in which case you can kind of get to the like 30, 31, 33%. You know, with meter, you can get up to 38, and again, that's based off of his 1 string, so that's great off of like his forward 2, forward 1-2. But now she's in the corner. I went, but she's in the corner. All right. That's really about it for mid-screen. Okay. One more thing I should say is that you're looking for the 1-1s, and you're also looking for forward 2-1-2, which becomes pretty easy once you train your opponent to block after a naked forward 2-1. Then you do forward 2-1-2, and they'll release block and get hit by that last hit, which lets you get, let's see, yeah, let's go so far. There we go. So that's 5% and 13%. So that's 17% damage if that hits them, which is decent, you know. So it's a really easy way. You know, his damage doesn't come from huge combos mid-screen. It comes from pressure, and that's how you get your pressure with Jax. Okay. Next is his corner pressure. Now this is where you want Jax to be, and your opponent to be. You want them right in the corner, okay? So Energy Wave, the biggest change to the corner is that now Energy Wave leaves you right next to your opponent. Which means that there's no time in between it. So even if she blocks it, that's a 6-frame startup, and that Energy Wave is +7. Yeah. Timing's a little hard to get on that first frame, but it is for them as well. So that is very difficult to react to, except against low pokes. They can, it is possible to low poke it, so you just have to be careful. That, and then again into like down 4 still works. You can actually now, down 1, thought, maybe not, maybe it's character dependent, but the down 4 will always connect. Okay, so that the Energy Wave is great for keeping people in the corner. It's just amazing. Okay, and so your goal in the corner is to keep your opponent there, since Jax's damage output essentially doubles in the corner. A good tactic is to just pelt your opponent with quick pokes until they and frame traps until they make a mistake that you can full combo punish, like an armored move that you block, or they try to jump out or anything like that. You know, you don't want to commit to anything too crazy, because if you do make a wrong read, then they can get out of the corner, and now you either have to reverse positions with them or get them all the way into the other corner. So, you know, be careful, play it safe, and just, you know, keep them mixed up with these frame traps, overhead low, all that good stuff. And again, be very careful going for the back forward down 2 in the corner, because it is full combo punishable. That's why doing the back 2 into it is really good. because if they block the back 2, it won't come out. You're only -8. You can check them with that, okay, which is great. It's not going to deal the most corner damage, but that'll let you see if they're blocking that low hit or not. And if they are, then you can start doing that, which again, it's risky, but can lead to some solid damage. And if they're not blocking it, then you can do that. You can also try to confirm into the overhead dash punch. Like if you do 1, 2, 3, and you see that that 1 does hit, then you can do the overhead dash punch. That is one benefit of delaying the down for the dash punch, is that you can do like 1, 2, 3, back, forward, 2. And if you see that some of it hits, then you just press down at the right moment and you'll get your combo relatively safely. All right. So that's his corner game. Anytime you end a combo with this in the corner, down 1 is your best option, because if they do try to jump out, it'll anti-air and you get a free combo. It's also only 7 frames, which means after that, they only have 4 frames to react. If they ever do jump over you, get them back in the corner. And you see that one's a little inconsistent, because if I do it too early and it anti-airs, then they won't bounce as high. So you do have to practice your timing on that. You can also just do a naked throw and they have to respect it. But yeah. Okay, next is Oki. So this Oki is what happens when you're waking up. Like if I knock her down, now we're in an Oki situation where I have to guess if she's gonna do armor, and she has to guess if I'm gonna attack or block. And it's a whole guessing mind read situation, okay? So most of Jax's damage is gonna come from his gotcha grab, and most of the combos end in that. So really he doesn't have to worry about Oki as much as other characters, just because that leaves them standing. But it also doesn't leave him with enough advantage to really capitalize on. In the corner, this is more prevalent because you're right up on them. So you just want to end with that down 1. It's really what you want to do, unless you think they're going to armor, just down 1. And so otherwise in the corner, most of your Oki is going to come from the occasional down 2 or a dropped combo, you know. And so because of that, it's you just have to make a read. You know, I can't train you on the frame data of every dropped combo. But yes, so let's see. So if you have no meter, you have to respect your opponent's wake up options. Your only real way to break armor with Jax is his 1-2 string, which will break anything that is slower than 12 frames. So like if we set Jackie to wake up with I think Gauntlet Flurry is the one. So you see, if you do it too early, it'll whiff, and if you do it too late, you're not gonna get anything out of it. But like Kung, Jin, Melina, a lot of characters that have like their only armored wake ups are slow. Like you can kind of do that, but usually they have a way around it. Like some move they can use, it's maybe not the best move, but it will get through that pressure. So you do have to be careful. Like Melina can just non-armored ball roll and it'll go right under your down 1 and punish you for a full combo. So just got to learn your matchups, which is in the written guide. The very next section of this covers matchup specifics. All right. So yes, that 1-2 can break armor. So can his 1-1 against moves that are over -17. It's just harder to time. But otherwise, you have to respect your opponent's wake ups if you don't have armor. That's kind of one of the downsides of Jax. However, if they don't have meter and you're at advantage, then you can mix them up between your back two and your your back two and your back three. Which again, you know, mid screen, there's 21 and 13. There we go. I'm actually doing that a little too late. She shouldn't be waking up. There we go. Which is what, 33% damage. Turn that off. We're pretending she doesn't have meter, so she can't do an armored wake up. That's 30% damage. That's mid screen. All right, in the corner it's even worse, just because you've got your 40% damage, and you've got your 42% damage, and you've got your like 52% damage, I think, something. Let's see. There we go, 52%. All right. So yeah, if they don't have meter, you can just bully them with the back two and the back three and the back two. Just remember that if you are going to use your back three, it's best to cancel it into either your meter burn grab or your dash punch. Because if they guess correctly and you do that, then you're going to get full combo punished. And the dash punch does the same amount of damage. It's just not, you don't get the free OTG setup, but you still have enough time to run up and pressure them with more 50-50s. All right. So mid screen, the two most common instances of Oki are your down two, which leaves you plus quite a bit, plus 25, which is enough time to kind of get up there. It's barely enough time. Like they can, theoretically they could react to that, maybe. It'd be tough, but either way you're in their face and you're running the show. Same with your forward 2-1-2, which is your, let me reset my controller, sorry. But you're at plus 46, which is more than enough time to run up and keep things going. All right, the other thing you can do forward 2-1-2 is get your back three down 2-1. What did that hit from way back there? All right. Okay. So luckily, if Jax has meter, he does have one option, which, as far as I know, works against every wake up in the game. Or let me fix that. Most wake ups in the game. So let's see. I think even Jackie has one that it will whiff against. Maybe forces charge. Wake up. There we go. Let's see. Oh no, it works against it. All right. So what I just did there was back three into enhanced gotchi grab. And for some reason, just what is the cancel advantage on that back? Cancel advantage is 21. Okay, and it hits, so I guess that's 28 frames. Oh no, but it doesn't call that whiff. Let's just say 21, and the startup on gotcha grab is 11. So I mean, it basically, like, it's instant. Like, it just goes from that low kick into the gotcha grab with basically no space in between. And so what that does is that their armor absorbs the back three, which means that they don't have any armor left for the back, or for the gotcha grab. Okay, so like Goro can avoid it with his multi-hit punch walk, and like Scorpion's teleport is too fast for it. But otherwise, that'll break armor on wake up. You know, sometimes there are moves like that, but if you do it correctly, you can still catch them. Now where this gets weird is against slide wake-ups. Alright, because that gotcha grab is a high, which means it'll whiff on slides. But check this out. Let's see, if we set him to jump, we set him to wake up, icy slide. Here we go. Alright. See how I jump before he does? That means that I'm at advantage. So you're approximately +5 or 6, depending on the timing. Again, if you do it perfectly, then you're at +6. Yeah, because he didn't even get off the ground. It didn't anti-air. So he's not getting off the ground, and that's a 6-frame attack. So if you do it right, you're at least +6, maybe even +7 or +8, since I'm probably not doing it on the first available frame anyway. So even though it doesn't actually technically beat his icy slide, it does leave you at enough advantage to get, you know, now I'm at +27 and I can get my mix up. Okay. Let's see, now for the super gotcha. All right, so this is Jax's version of Oki, is the super gotcha. It comes up far more often than his regular Oki, just because that's what you end a lot of your combos with for damage. And, you know, again, mid-screen I recommend ending with stuff that gives you more pressure, but, you know, raw damage, there's nothing wrong with it. The only problem is that it's +3 on hit, and leaves them so far out that you really can't get anything off of that. You can get a forward 2, but they have 10 frames to backdash, to low poke, to do whatever. So really, anytime mid-screen you end with a gotcha grab, your best bet is like a dash punch or a jump back into mix-ups. You can do a jump 1, a forward jump 1. But because it's so easy to react to, like if he tried to do that against me, I could standing 1 and beat him most of the time. Also a jump 3 is a really good option, I will say, just because it's almost entirely safe and it's so dominant against anti-airs. The jump 1 will lead to a mix-up and more damage, but that will lead to you know, it's safer. It's, to me, I'd say it's a better option is the jump 3. Alright, so that's really all you have mid-screen when you land a gotcha grab. Is jump 3 is probably your best option, sadly. You can also try to you can zone with an energy wave, but if they jump it from that range, you can get full combo punished. You can also neutral jump in expectation of their jump, which is pretty safe. Like Sub-Zero could slide and hit me for, you know, 8% damage or whatever his slide does. But it'd be, I don't know, the risk versus reward is definitely in Jax's favor, because if he did try to jump in, that would hit. And anytime Jax hits a neutral jump punch, he gets a decent amount of damage if you don't suck, like I do. Alright. So in the corner, when you land that new this, really your best option is just a down 1. And what you can do is if you just hold down, and as soon as you see Jax duck, you can do the down 1. The only problem with that is it makes it hard to cancel into anything, so I do recommend learning the timing and just doing down 1 energy wave, which is much easier. You can also do down 1-2 energy wave, but again, I don't like the down 1-2 just because that second hit is blockable and punishable. So just down 1 energy wave is usually your best option. You can also do the same thing where it hits, just a neutral jump, and that works against so much of the cast, it's insane. That's really good. Let's see. The big benefit to the down 1 though is that it's like, say you do a naked down 1 instead of down 1 energy wave. This is also pretty good because if it does hit, like if they press a button too late or something, then you're at +15 and you can get your mix-up started. And there you see, that's the combo that works against men, but not females. So against Sub-Zero, I can do 1-1, 1-2-4. Oh, I actually think I did that crazy combo. Yeah. So that works against male characters, but against females, you have to do this one. So I just use this one against all characters because you're only losing 1% damage. All right. The other good thing about the down one is that if they do try to jump out, and we already covered this a little bit. Roller died again. If they do try to jump out, and that'll hit and get you some free damage. Okay. And I believe that's about it as far as his pressure options go. You know, just to kind of recap, your goal is to push them in the corner. The combination of stuff. I mean, you can put someone in the corner real quick with jacks. And so you see how all those little things just add up quickly. And of course, all of these are hitting, which isn't going to be the case with a real opponent, but you can frustrate people very easily by just ending your stuff early, especially because that's +1 on block and that's neutral. You can really, they'll never know. Like, they pretty much have to respect your ability to do that forward 2-1-2, because anytime it hits, now he's in a situation where he has to guess. And now he's in the corner, and now he's eating 40% damage. Okay, and that's the gist of Jax. I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. Again, be sure to check out the written transcript for all the combo notation, matchup specifics on how to deal with like Sub-Zero and Kung Lao and Kung Jin and all these characters. And you know, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Twitch. I guess that's about it. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Post any questions in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them as soon as possible. So thanks.